Hey there! Welcome back to the Mothcast, a podcast about video games and how a couple of moths feel about them. The game for episode 31 is Iconoclasts, a 2D pixel graphics Metroidvania style game. Get your wrench out of hiding and let's get into the podcast. All right, so the game this week is called Iconoclasts.
Iconoclasts, yes.
Yeah, uh, a bit of a longer game, to be honest,
Yeah,
than
it's
what we usually play. I think
it's around like 7 hours, I think, wasn't
seven.
it?
I
Or
think my
7,
I
8,
think my gameplay came in at around
or
like
was like
9 to 10, like nine
something like
forty.
that. Yeah.
And I
Well, I
wasn't
mean,
going slow, so um,
just get better at the game, I guess.
yeah. I mean, just know where to go. It is a, I guess it is a
It is
Metroidvania.
a Metroidvania.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
like,
want to describe it as a Metroidvania because like it kind of is, but it's
you know,
pretty locked down. Um, you can't. There's not really any wiggle room on where you can go
oh
at
yeah,
any
yeah.
given time.
It is it is a quite linear Metroidvania, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like there's even a point in the game. Uh, I want to say toward the middle where I was like, oh, I know exactly where I need to go, and so I go there, and there's just a door, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
there's a door, and so I had to go and like talk to somebody first and be like and have them be like, oh hey, so there's a door over there. It should be destroyed by the time you get there. So yeah, you should go over there. And I go to the same place that I was at, and it's
And
open.
it's
And I'm
open.
like, oh,
And it's open. It's like, yeah.
yep,
Oops.
perfect, yep, great.
Yep.
Not a huge gripe, but it was just
No.
something that I observed while I was playing. Anyway, yeah. So this is a 2D sort of, I guess you could say, pixel art, um, platforming, shooting Metroidvania.
Yeah.
In the same vein of, I don't know, what would you say, like Hollow Knight? Even I don't. I kind of.
Um,
I
I
kind of
don't know.
hesitate to compare it to Hollow Knight because of reasons, but yeah,
I don't really know if there's games
many
like
things like it.
many things like this game,
That's okay.
but um, you know,
Yeah, I mean it's definitely of the you go and you as you progress you get more powers and then the more abilities, and then you have to solve puzzles based on the abilities that you obtain throughout the
yeah,
game. And then
yeah,
you can return to older places with new abilities and find more
and
stuff.
find like stuff to make things. Yeah, the
Yeah.
like grades or not upgrades, but like optional things.
Right. Yeah, and
Because what it is it you find like materials and then you go to the crafting station and you craft tweaks, which are like basically um this game's version of like badges or something,
yeah, I mean, badges or like just whatever upgrades you want
arms,
to say. Like
whatever.
in Guacamelee, we had, or I guess a better thing to say is like Guacamelee 2, we had those skill trees where,
Oh
once you
yeah,
got enough money, you could
like upgrades
invest
of
in
some
them.
kind.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so I will say that it's got some pretty appealing like box cover art. um
Hmm.
Whoever made this game, I think I made the joke on stream that whoever made this game really likes like butts because everybody's got like the most pronounced butt. It's really
Yeah,
funny. And I think that
yeah. I
is,
mean,
that's an appeal
i-
to
if you know
people.
how to if you know how to draw that, then why not,
Yeah, why
right?
not? No, I mean, sure, yeah, why not, there's no reason why not. um but yeah, okay, so let's talk about the music really quick. uh I think it was good, but it didn't really stand out too much. Um,
No, I mean
I
it.
will say it is solidly above average.
Yeah, it's definitely above average. I mean, not something that like is worth listening to in like a playlist or something, but
Yeah, I didn't
it
run out and buy
definitely
this game's soundtrack for
it
sure.
definitely works for like some of the parts where you hear the music.
Yeah.
or something like you know what I mean. It's kind of a weird way of saying that, but
No,
um,
but I know what you mean. Like, let's say during the like tower section, the music is pretty ominous and
mhm.
it really gives the correct feel for the area you're in.
Yeah,
Um,
the
like
worst
that sort of
area
thing.
in the
The
game.
worst area in the game. Yeah, that place was a big pain. I think I
Uh,
spent the longest on that one out of every, I guess, quote unquote dungeon in the
yeah,
game. Um,
like even West Concern was
yeah, but
better.
West Concern, I don't know. West Concern's not like a horrible.
No.
It wasn't a
Uh,
really bad area. Anyway, we're
anyway,
getting ahead of
the one
ourselves here.
the one
Uh,
that stands out to me is the music that's like, I guess you would call it the like holy music, I suppose. It's usually whenever there's something um
like sound effects.
like uh oh, how would I put this? Um like when you're talking to mother, or when something.
Is it? Are you trying to say like whenever like an explosion happens or somebody like says
Yeah,
something and there's a sound effect that goes along with it with a
n-
reaction or
no, no, no. It's the music that plays whenever something um like sad, I guess, or like,
they're trying to do like a reveal?
yeah,
Hmm.
I guess. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Right. Um. It's. I will say that there are definitely parts where the music is like either repeated or is just so repetitive or sounds so similar that I was like, oh, this again.
Yeah, yeah.
So like it's all like on the whole, I will say that the sound design in this game is like good or above average even. But it does get kind of samey after a while because they're trying to go for uh a certain theme, I suppose you
Mhm.
could say. But the thing is that like I feel like there are ways that you can design around that, right? Because we played Guacamelee 1 and 2 right after each other, right? So we were just like we were playing so much Guacamelee in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. The
and like
music
I didn't
is
feel like
definitely
those
saying it.
games got
What?
samey. You know what I mean?
Why is my YouTube not working?
I'm
There we
trying
go.
to look up music for it.
Yeah. Um, you can keep going.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying like when we were playing Guacamelee, do you think that do you think that the music, even though it's like all that sort of like retro gaming sort of Mexican music or like combined together,
Mm.
it was all like toward the same goal, but it didn't feel samey after we were done listening to it.
No, it didn't. It was definitely like not. It wasn't samey.
Yeah, I'd say that's kind of like a thing that this game kind of had a problem with at some points. But as for animations, I will be honest, as somebody who's not a huge fan of a lot of like retro looking pixel games,
Yeah, like
this
pixel games.
game, ooh,
This is I don't know, almost not a pixel game. Almost.
almost, yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Like, yeah, it's
It
very close to not being a pixel game.
yeah, it was like the animation was very very clean. They were very expressive in their animations. Um, yeah, like everybody, there was somebody moving basically at all times. What else? Like like even in the default animations, uh, like they were
Yeah, yeah.
moving, their hair was bouncing, their arms were
Like the
were
idle
like
animations,
yeah,
or
like
then
their arms were moving around. You know, they were doing something which contributes to like making each character much more lifelike and more interesting. Uh, but you know they didn't just like stand still, which is really nice, especially for a
yeah.
pixel game where you don't really have a lot to work with for like character design. I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I think that the character design in this game definitely I guess the best way you can say is like there's a lot of very strong female characters, and
Yeah,
there's a couple of like cool male characters, but the majority of like the powers in this game are
or
male or are female
are female.
characters,
Yeah,
which is like it's interesting, but then that means that like um the artists are definitely drawing the female form a lot.
yeah, yeah. I
uh
mean,
and they're all like fairly attractive women,
yep.
as attractive as they can be, being you know
Pixel,
pixel
you
art.
know,
um but they I think they did a pretty good job giving each of the sort of main characters, the ones that you see a lot, like their own personality. Even the silent main character that you play, Robin,
hmm
you can tell that she has a sort of she's not just like a
she's not just a flat like main character.
yeah, like she definitely responds to things, and you have a few decisions throughout the game that you can choose, but like they're
Yeah,
all pointed in a direction of like
her
what a specific
personality.
person would say. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not always just like yes or no. There's always like a some options are like two of the same kind of option, just said in a different way.
Yeah. um Yeah, basically. I found that actually really fun. I liked that a lot, where it was like neither of these things mean anything. There's no meaningful difference between these. It's just flavor, but like flavor is good, especially in
Yeah.
games like this.
I just sent you the soundtrack that I was referring to,
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
where it's like that plays whenever it's like you have a big surprise or a big like
Like
um
momentous occasion. I don't want to play it
yeah,
because if
that's
I
the
play
one.
it, it's gonna over, like we're only gonna hear that on the podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
That's the
I
word,
understand what you're
momentous
saying.
occasion, where it's like something is being revealed in the plot.
Yeah. Which I don't
That's the
know.
one
I
that
don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because it sort of gets you into the mindset of like, oh, some shit is happening, right? Something's
yeah,
going down. But if you hear that and like you don't realize that there's something happening, and now you're like, you hear it before the thing even starts, like now you're realizing, oh, like something's happening, or you should be like tuning yourself toward or preparing yourself for like a reveal or something like that. Does that make
yeah.
sense? Like I don't know if
hmm
that's necessarily a good thing, but yeah, definitely it definitely exists. um yeah.
I mean that's fine. Also, apparently there's a boss that we never fought.
Oh,
Guess we-
I'm pretty sure that there are a few bosses that we didn't fight actually. Um, like I think it's is
Um,
it
Fitzroy
yeah,
being one of
Fitzroy
them.
and Mother's Corners, because we fight the rest of them. Yeah.
Weird.
Um,
Why would you not fight Mother's Corners before Mother and
I don't know.
like
I was just
everyone
looking it up, like after we beat it, and I guess it is like a separate quest, because Mother's Corners is like her two little like
guards basically?
yeah, and they've got like swords, but like you have to go through like a side quest in order to even fight them. And I was like, I'm nope, not gonna do it.
Maybe again in a new game plus file, which I have two of now.
Mm. um
Should have played this game in new game plus, but
yeah,
whatever.
why not? You should have.
I should have, but I didn't. Oh
Yeah.
well, it's all right.
Yeah, that's all right.
Um,
I wouldn't say that there's I would say that there's actually something like amazing. I don't know what the word I was looking for before was, but like exceptional. That's what I was looking for. I would say yes, there is something exceptional about the graphics with this game, because it really is riding the line of like like
Not pixel
pixel,
graphics.
but like even if it wasn't, well, but I don't know what else it would be. I guess like um I guess Guacamelee comes to mind for like not pixel graphics but still 2D, you know?
Yeah.
Um but this is definitely not that. You can definitely pick out the individual pixels
Yeah,
in,
you can.
but it's still superb, like way
It,
beyond
it, it-
anything that I would ever
it's
expect.
it's very very smooth, um very good.
Yeah, I would definitely look into it. Like if you really like pixel games, this will be right up your alley.
Mhm.
Um for sure. Uh
Yeah. You may
yeah,
be able to see the pixels, but like as you're playing it, you won't even like basically won't even register that it's a pixel game.
yeah. It's really cohesive enough that it's very very good. Like backgrounds all like blend in really well and are very like like really good to look at. They have a lot of detail in spite
Mhm.
of the the graphic style. So
Yeah.
it's a lot more that I can say about a lot of games. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Something that comes to mind, just even though the gameplay was really 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 good, is Cave Story, where I was
Caves.
just like, man,
Yeah.
like
And
give me like 16 more
even
bits, man.
even that was Cave Story Plus, which is the like remade version of
Yeah,
it.
the more
It's like
graphics version.
the 16-bit or the 32-bit version,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Um. Anyway, okay, so on to the meat of the podcast. The gameplay in this game. I will say
I
that it is a very interesting subject for discussion.
Yeah, I mean,
um.
it's the gameplay is smooth. You get your main gameplay mechanics. You have a gun, and then
Right.
you have a wrench,
Yeah. Gun and
which
wrench, and as you progress along, each one gains either another setting, another shot, or like an additional, like
just upgraded to your wrench.
yeah, upgrade to your wrench. Um,
Your wrench acts as your melee weapon, and your gun obviously. It's not a real gun. It is a stun gun,
yeah, it's
technically.
technically a stun gun, which I mean, okay, like
Yeah,
I
whatever.
whatever, dude. It's kind of a meaningless desertion. Like it serves in story only, I would say.
Yeah.
It's not really.
Um.
You're blowing up a lot of shit to where people die, and there's blood in this game, so I'm not really like, oh no, a stun gun, like let's not hurt each other. Like no, people are shooting each other. Like let's be
Yeah,
serious.
they are. But yeah. Anyway, you get like a bomb upgrade for it. You get like a laser upgrade for it.
Well, yeah, it's like a grenade almost, I will
Yeah,
say.
more of a
Um,
grenade than
and then the
bomb.
lasers, like it's like a laser that has two other lasers that surround, like kind of follow it in a
Yeah, it's
spiral
a
pattern.
yeah, it's
It kind of reminds me of like DNA almost, but just
yeah,
like faster. I don't know.
like a spiral laser
Yeah.
almost.
Um, definitely the best weapon of the group. I will. Yeah,
It is.
for sure.
I'm pretty sure I did this in the first time I played. Is I just used when I got that. That's one of like the main weapon I used
From then
because
on.
it did more damage than the original
Yeah.
laser
I mean,
shot.
you can spam the the one thing about the original gun is that like if you're in range of something and you can mash the button really fast, like
You can deal a
it
lot of
it
damage.
puts out damage because there's no restriction. Unlike
Yeah, there's
last week's guns, there's no restriction on how many times you can shoot in a second
yeah,
depending on how much you press the button. So that's nice. Uh,
yeah,
there is for the laser and the grenade.
yeah. They do have
However,
like a cooldown.
yeah. And then I will say that there is an alternate fire for each gun variety, which means
It's like a charge
yeah,
for
it's like a
each.
charge shot. So for like for the stun gun, it makes this huge like person like two people high big shot that does a bunch of damage, which
But
is like
it
really
makes
nice.
it makes your gun have to cool down.
Yeah, and no matter what like weapon setting you're using, it's always going to make it have to cool down for a while, which is like really annoying
Hmm.
for the most part. But like you have other modes of attack, the wrench and the I guess it's like a ground pound sort of thing,
Yeah, it's like
which
a
I
stomp.
guess yeah, it's like a stomp. I guess you use it a lot. I didn't really use it very much at all,
Yeah, dude.
except for
I mean,
enemies you have to use it on.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
I mean, if you can stomp on something, basically do that.
yeah. Um, so there are a few things in this game that I felt were a little annoying. Um, it it made for a interesting level design, and they did this on purpose, so this isn't like an oversight. I just found it annoying. Whenever you jump and there's a ledge, you can only get up to certain ledges by like
Like
jumping up.
grabbing.
Yeah, but if there is a hole in the wall where there's like a U-sized hole, you can't jump up to that unless there is a like single block like jutted forward. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I'm not really
the like
describing this
crawl
very well.
spaces,
Yeah.
the crawling. Yeah,
Uh
you can only crawl into it if it's high enough off the ground where you grab onto the ledge.
and has nothing really else above it. You can't like jump onto it. Like if it's just like an opening in the wall, you can come down through there and pop out one way, but you can't jump up back through that direction,
Yeah.
which I found really annoying because it
It
kind
is
of
annoying, but, like, if you saw that it is a lot of it was, like, very specifically made, you
yeah.
know?
And that's what I'm saying is like they did this on purpose.
Yeah.
I just don't like it
I
very much.
I mean, yeah, it is a little annoying because sometimes if you, like, accidentally walk out of the other side where you can't get back in, you're just like, "Ah,
Like no,
shit, well,
no.
now I gotta go around."
Oh man, now we gotta go all the way back around.
But, yeah, it's like
Uh,
you can crawl back into it if it's high enough off the ground where you can jump and grab the ledge, but if it's, like, too close to the ground, you know, you can't go through it.
yeah. Um,
Or if there's a block in front of it or you know, ground in front of the crawl space, you can crouch and crawl through it.
yeah. Uh,
So yeah, it's pretty specifically made.
yeah, and that's fine.
I'll agree it is a little annoying,
I'm not
but
really like criticizing its existence. I'm just saying it was kind of annoying, but like the fact that it was on purpose, it means that I have to give it a pass because
Mhm.
it wasn't something that just annoys me like needlessly. There was a goal. So,
Yeah.
that's good. One thing about this game that I thought was kind of wonky was there's like a bajillion bosses. Like I'm not even joking. Like actually
Not
like
that many.
23 bosses or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, I guess there's a bunch. Um,
Like this is like Dark Souls level bosses, but like
are there really that many? There can't be.
I'm just saying it's there's a lot. There's a lot of bosses. Um there's
I don't
23
know.
bosses that you have to fight and there's two additional bosses.
Doesn't feel like there's that many. Some of them don't even feel like bosses, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's true, but they still exist.
Yeah, I guess they technically count as bosses.
Like some of the ones that count or that felt like bosses the most was like Inti, which is the face in Mina's
Mm,
hometown, where you have to
yeah,
switch back and forth between Robin and Mina.
yeah,
Um, that boss definitely felt
that's
like a boss.
definitely a boss.
Um,
Um, one of the more annoying bosses, but a boss nonetheless.
yeah. I want to say, was it this one? Was it Carver? The Carver? Yeah, the Carver is the one that
Oh,
goes in a
like,
circle.
train? Yeah, that one's the best boss.
Yeah, you like that one? I don't really.
That
Whatever.
one's that one's fun.
It's a boss. It exists.
I know
It
you didn't like it because I remember watching you at first, you didn't understand what was happening,
Well, I
but
mean, it's not that I didn't understand. I didn't really understand the timings. The timings were pretty annoying. Um,
yeah, but I don't know, I enjoyed it both the first and the second time. playing.
The possessed, it's called a possessed thunk, which was the silver watchman guy, the sword guy with the little like
Oh
uh
yeah, and then he like gets
he had the like
pooped by the
sewer,
blue.
the sewer like circle on his head for some
Oh yeah,
reason.
yeah,
And then that you go down into the blue, yeah, and then they, I guess it's like a whole robot thing. And then you fight them that are this thing that's being controlled by this like blue goo with eyeballs
yeah,
everywhere. That one definitely felt like a boss. I didn't really feel like the certain like the spine controllers or the hazard armor guy or the silver watchman himself. I didn't feel like any, or like Agent White where you're running away, General Chrome. I didn't feel like any of these were really like quote unquote bosses. They were just like you're running away from General Chrome. So you just got
yeah,
to
yeah.
survive. Like you didn't kill him.
Like
He's
the
just
helicopter is
yeah,
just like
yeah.
yeah, yeah, whatever. You're just on the train.
Right.
Get through that.
Agent White, you're running away from him. You have to like navigate the like area you're in and then eventually get to a
Mhm.
point where like you punch him in the face and then he gets seated and blows up into a tree. Ta-da. Like
Yeah.
um yeah. Uh
Really? That guy's counts as a boss?
yeah.
The hazard armor?
Yeah,
I
cuz
think
he
his
was like
name's
the one
Jerry.
where like the kid was in a box of ice or glass or whatever the hell it was.
Whatever. Guess
And
that
then
counts as a boss. I don't think
yeah,
it's
I mean, well you were like stuck
whatever.
in the screen. You couldn't just like walk away from it, you know?
No, I guess that's true, but
Oh, I guess
whatever.
it's not hazard armor, it's Jerry
Jerry,
because
his name is
he's
Jerry, but because it is actually a guy, but whatever, it's the hazard armor
yeah.
boss, you know the one. The boss I dislike is the Kabuka, which is the like skull. Um, when you get to the wastelands, when you first meet Royal, I think.
Am I? Oh yeah, that's like one of the first bosses.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that like I like stunned him or whatever I did and then like I took him out in like one or two rotations and just like spammed the
yeah,
gun and he blew up and I was like, "Okay. Wow."
and the regular Thunk, the what, like the first boss you fight, other than the spine controller, um, is annoying too. The Kerthunk first
Yeah.
one. That one's a little annoying, but you know, easily.
I think my least favorite boss or like boss encounter or whatever the hell you want to talk about in the entire game is Ash. Like that guy can go fuck himself forever.
Really? You had
Yeah,
trouble in Ash?
I didn't have trouble with him. I just didn't like him. I thought he was the whole boss design stupid. I thought it was just really dumb. It didn't fit in this game. I thought that it was just it was pointless.
I mean,
Cuz
it kind of
like
was pointless because it's like he's like you need stealth and strength to go into West Concern,
yeah.
and then you just don't need any of it. You just walk in and you're just there, and go through the puzzles.
Yeah, well, and like he said yeah, you need like stealth and I'm like, "Okay, so what you're saying is this game is going to turn into a stealth game at some point and so I'm going to have to like sneak around through stuff even though we've been like kind of doing that already in the tower." Um but like
And then you just
anytime there's
walk.
an enemy, you just shoot him, dude.
Yeah.
Like there was never a time where I'm like, "Okay, I'm just going to like sneak by this guy. There's too many of them." Like, no.
I mean, there have been a few times where it's like I just left them.
Well,
Just
yeah, I
like
mean,
you
there
know what?
it's like, "Oh,
Whatever.
I
I
don't
need
need
to
to shoot you. I
whatever.
can just jump
Guys,
past you." Sure. Whatever, bye.
leave.
You don't really get
Yeah.
experience in this game,
Um,
so
I don't know. Ash is like entirely forgettable, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to forget him cuz I died to him multiple times cuz I was impatient.
Rip.
So,
Um,
um as a spoiler, uh Ash is like toward the like just past the middle point, I would say. Um
yeah.
this guy is a like super powered person who's
Well,
like dying or whatever.
he's one of the
He
agents, so
Yeah,
he
he
has
used
like
to be an agent, I guess, which we'll talk about later. Um, he's like an ex-agent who has sort of, I don't want to say like gone rogue, but he's basically gone rogue. He doesn't have an
Yeah,
allegiance
he
anymore.
he was exiled at least.
Yeah. And due to his agent condition, he also is in like regular pain, and so the doctor that you have to talk to for like XY reason is like, "Oh yeah, I'm helping
Here's
him.
painkillers.
Yeah, here's some drugs." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll help you, but only if you like defeat me in a."
Only if you show me that you're capable.
Yeah, and so you go into this big room, and I even called it. I was like, "You're gonna have
Yeah,
to
I know
do
you
something
did.
in this room. You're gonna have to do something in this room that's
And I'm pretty
silly."
sure I said to you, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, just don't worry about that."
Uh, like I yeah. So
I do remember having trouble with Ash the first time I played, though, but, you know, that's fine.
his thing is that he like
You can go invisible and,
he's
like, teleport
invisible.
around.
Yeah, pretty much. Completely invisible. You're supposed to out stealth this fucker while he's invisible. But oh wait, so there's two of you. But oh wait, one of you for some reason is like, "Oh yeah, but I can smell you." So you've got to like
Yeah,
go in the
Mina's
water.
dirty as shit.
Well,
Stinky.
like listen, whatever. Like who cares? Why does that matter? You're making
You have to
this.
put her in the water and Robin in the bush.
Yeah, and then once you like make a little distraction with one by like throwing something or shooting or however like footsteps are made, you have to like then go and shoot him with the other guy, and then he goes and then he teleports to another location, and then you have to move your guys around, and you repeat this like ad nauseum.
Mhm.
And then like he adds more complex steps to the him getting hit portion of the
Oh,
game,
yeah,
but
'cause
it's
the
like
last one is, like, you have to hit him with one, he blocks, and then you have to hit him from behind with the
yeah,
other
but like
character.
dude. All of that sounds good, but like it doesn't like none of it is explained until like you've taken like 6 hits where he's like, "You smell bad, go take a bath." And I'm like, "Do you need to go hide in the water? Are you fucking kidding me? Is this real? Like is this a real mechanic where you're going to like make the only places that Mina can stealth
In
in
is
the
the
water?"
water.
That's
Yeah,
so fucking dumb. Like I don't think you understand how dumb that is.
it's kinda dumb.
Because if he's saying, "Oh, the only way like you need stealth to get to proceed," right? Okay, this is his condition. You need stealth to proceed. Cool. But one of you literally requires water to stealth. Where the
Yeah,
fuck are you going to get water from where we're going?
in yeah.
That's like this I that's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. Like
It's
never mind the
unnecessary.
fact that he like will just do some random bullshit. It's like, "Oh man, I shot him a bunch of times and then he still teleported on me and like punched me in the face." It's like, "Oh dude, I would just yeah, I didn't like him. I don't like him at all."
I mean, that's fair. Like,
Um
he's kind of annoying and unnecessary, but,
I didn't really have like trouble or like a problem with any other boss but him.
you know,
Um just because he just felt so out of place in the game because you're not fighting anybody. You have to like
it's like
try
a
to be
discipline
patient.
test.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like you had to
and
like
then and
go ahead.
and then the place that you're going to doesn't even like, you don't even use any of the stealth or anything he required you to use.
Yeah.
That's the annoying part for me, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the devs were trying to like say something, or maybe they like designed this boss and like
They didn't wanna drop
they
it,
didn't
maybe?
want to cut it because they're like, "But we spent so much time on it." It's like, "All right, just put it in. We'll make it like some kind of test for the player." It's like, "Okay, fuck you, first of all."
Yeah, whatever, it's alright. Yeah, yeah,
Cuz
okay.
like the whole game up until now, it's been this like run and gun, jump and shoot like Mega Man style video game where you're like constantly moving and you know you're running and gunning. That's the
Mhm,
whole
mhm.
game until
Yep.
now. There's never been a time where you have to like, "Shh, he's coming. I can see his footsteps in the grass because every time he steps for some reason he kicks up a bunch of dirt and grass." Like, "Okay, now throw a bomb over there." "Oh, we got him. Ha 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 ha." Like, no, never in the entire game before or after this boss does that happen.
Nope.
Um anyway, Uh, what would you say? Would you say? Did you already say your favorite boss is the Carver, the like
Yeah, the train.
roundabout train guy,
Yep.
which I didn't like really at
The
all.
most fun boss.
Um, I think my favorite boss was probably Mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I liked Mother a lot.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Mother was kind of an annoying boss fight.
yeah, she was definitely an annoying boss fight, but
Just
like I
because,
kind
like,
of
um, for some reason, whenever she did the dash to off screen, it was like, or no, it was like when she turned the cat into like a giant boulder and rolled it at you.
yeah,
Um,
there was no avoiding it.
that was undodgeable, and
Yeah, that's pretty
it
annoying. I will admit.
it's bullshit that it was undodgeable because like you have the little wrench things to swing around with whenever she does the normal charge, you can swing and jump over. But
Yeah,
like when she's in a boulder like that, just take
you just have
damage,
to
I
take
guess.
damage. Yeah, it's like haha, like
Unless there
sorry,
is a
get
way
good, I guess.
to unless there is a way to
I mean, I'm
and
gonna look at the wiki page right now, but I don't think there is because I couldn't find it. Um, do.
oh, okay, thanks Wiki. This attack is however very easy to dodge. Oh, it can be pushed back. Yeah, alright. Sure.
Which one? No, because it says
Ball. It says ball.
oh, it's the ball attack. Mother's
Yeah.
last attack is the ability to reshape her creation into a ball, attempting to roll over the player. This attack is, however, very easy to dodge because even if it is faster than the player and impossible to jump over, it is pushed back by the missiles of the weapons.
Probably just any shot
You're
from
supposed to
gun.
just shoot it.
Shoot it. I mean, that's how
Oh,
you get through the like large ball that Royal is like holding back.
yeah. I
You have
suppose.
to
I guess they were trying to
with
teach you
any
at that,
with any
which
bullet.
makes sense. I guess. Yeah. Whatever. Maybe we're both just really bad at video games. That's
It's dumb,
fair.
I guess. All right,
Honestly, I don't mind that. I don't mind being really bad at video games.
whatever.
Um, yes. Okay, so let's move on to the even bigger subject of story.
Oh yes, and there is definitely a story. It's quite the
um,
story too. I still don't even understand it.
well, after looking on some forums and around some Reddits, not very many people do.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm
figured.
not going to say that like I understand the story, so I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, like I uh
Listen,
I could
listen,
make
this,
I could make the
this.
defining video about explaining the story for this video game. Like no. I'm not going
No,
to say that. But I will
or
try to give my best interpretation of this story.
yeah,
Um and I will say that like I don't think a lot of it is meant to be taken literally, which is like really awkward for a video game.
yeah,
uh yeah. So, um, just to set it up, there is this world. Oh, first of all, there's a lot baked into the name of the video game. Like a lot baked into the name of the video
yeah.
game.
Like the game's called Iconoclasts, and if you don't know what it means, I have the definition here
Yep.
for the
Go ahead.
viewers. Obviously, the iconoclast is a person who attacks cherished beliefs or institutions. Or second definition is um, someone who destroys religious
Symbols, right?
stuff, symbols. Yeah,
Yeah. So both of those definitions are very important here.
yeah,
um, so the world that you're living on, because you wake up in a house, your character is this blonde girl named Robin. She's like got a wrench in her hair. She's got a ponytail. She
it's
wears
really
like
shaped like a
engineer
wrench.
clothes. Great character design. Perfect. Um, she's a mechanic, right? She's not supposed to be a mechanic, according to the ruling people, the ruling government called the One Concern. And this One Concern is much less of like a governmental body as we would conceive of it in the United States, and more of a religious,
Yeah,
um, like theocratic like uh, government
Yeah,
and religion
it's
kind
like
of
a
all
government and a religion both in one. I don't know what
yeah
that's
boiled
called,
into one.
but
I'm pretty sure that that's theocracy.
okay.
And so they like
If you aren't assigned a job, um, like y- you shouldn't be doing anything besides your assigned job.
yes.
Um,
And it says out of all the jobs a person can be assigned, being a mechanic is the most important because, and I will assume that is because a lot of the technology or a lot of the like religious imagery and a lot of the like religious idealism around this government and the world revolves around the mechanical functioning of various like robots and
yeah,
like AIs and just
it's just like
machines.
technology. Yeah,
Yeah. Like the technology needs to be functioning for the religious, like, so that nothing in the religion falls apart, I suppose you could say.
either falls apart or is like tainted.
Yeah. Um, so in this world, the most important thing is something called ivory, which is like such a sus thing to make. Mainly because like it has nothing to do with the ivory in our real world. Um,
No, it's I don't
like
know.
the ivory in our real world is literally like bone and tusk, which I mean, I guess you could say is it's kind of relevant, but like this ivory in this game is more like liquid and it looks kind of like goopy and white and
Yeah,
it's
it's like oil
it's
basically.
pretty sussy. Yeah, it is most comparable to oil, I will say that for sure.
Because like you mine it out of the ground and it's used for
All these different things, yeah.
all of the technology.
Yeah. I guess ivory
You
is
also
a
pick up materials that are literally just called ivory oil, and you use them to make things.
yeah. I
So
don't think I ever found one because I wasn't looking very
really,
hard. Um, also,
usually
I
for
never
the
said it in the
agriculture.
mechanics section. As for the upgrades, never really did any of them.
Oh
I
well,
think I
I
upgraded like
will.
the first
Yes.
few that I grabbed whenever I could do that. Never changed them. Never needed to.
I
Never
mean, the
wanted to.
iron heart's the only one you need.
Yeah, the one that reduces the damage or like makes it so you don't take damage
It,
once.
it blocks one damage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's all I
Um,
got. I was like, all right,
and
that's all I
maybe
need.
maybe
Bye.
spindle, so you can charge your electric wrench with one spin.
Oh yeah, that's a good point actually. That one would have been helpful.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm not
so
sure why you didn't use that one.
Robin wakes up in her house and these agents are like, "Hey, are you I've we've been getting some notifications that somebody's been repairing things in the nearby settlement, settlement 17." She's like, "Totally
Have
not
it?
me. Why would I
Have
do
you
that? That's
been
crazy."
doing mechanic things not sanctioned?
Yeah, like
Illegal
unsanctioned
mechanic
job
things?
work. She's like,
No,
no, and then immediately as they leave, as she leave, those the
as
agents
agents
leave,
leave,
she like goes
she
down
picks up
and
her
grabs her
wrench.
wrench, which I found like hilarious.
It's like, no,
Um,
I haven't been doing any kind of mechanics works. I have no paraphernalia at all. I am not a
hey kid,
mechanic. I
are you
promise.
smoking? Takes a drag. No. It's like, good. I better not catch you smoking. That's against the law. Yeah,
Too much.
no problem,
She, like,
officer.
goes out, grabs a wrench, and then leaves for settlement 17 to go
Yeah,
fix some shit. It's like,
yeah,
okay,
basically.
great.
Um, her brother, I guess, his name is Elro,
Elro.
is a genius chemist, as we find out, like, sort of later, but sort of, not really.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he just like he says he's a chemist at the beginning of the game, more or less.
Yeah, but you find out that he's like the chemist.
He's like a really, really good chemist
Yeah.
later.
You go to his house and he's like, "Hey, so some things need fixing," and then oops, the one concern like pop in and
The agents are like, oh, and they just catch you doing mechanic things.
yeah. And so
So
that's
they
sort
throw
of
you in.
sort of like sets off this chain of events of like, oh, is it right for these people to tell you what you can and can't do? And like some people say, yeah, like they're literally called on by God,
Yeah,
him, in order to sort of lay down the law. And
they're given power by him,
right. And so like we should listen to them because if
or
we
given
don't, we're
authority.
upsetting God, basically.
Yeah, or it's
Um,
like it's sinful to act against God.
right. Uh, and you know that's a that's a pretty big conversation piece right there, because like
Yeah,
that resembles like the birth and movement of like Catholicism through many hundreds of years. you know
yeah,
they've been sort of creating, like, think about Holy Rome, right?
yeah.
Where they're
It's a
like, the Holy Roman Empire is like divine rulers, ca-
mhm.
told that they have power by God in themselves. They are the ruling class because a higher power said so. And it's like, oh, okay, I see why this is called iconoclasts now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um so yeah, and where does she go? Where does she go after that? I'm trying to
She
think.
gets thrown in jail.
Oh, that's right.
By
Okay, yeah. So she gets caught doing bad things. She gets thrown in jail. She meets. I was like, well, how does she meet Mina again? Oh yeah, literally, she meets her friend and the other character that you basically play as in the game, um,
Mina,
Mina, a pirate from another land,
pirate, quote unquote.
pirate quote unquote, uh, in jail, and then Mina like kind of breaks out both of them via like these
Seeds, I guess. I
they're
don't
like
know.
mechanical disrupting seeds. They don't really explain too much how it works, but basically it seems
No,
like,
they don't really. It's like the seeds react whenever they're in machines or ivory.
well, okay, so that's what I was gonna say is I don't think it has anything to do with machines. Okay,
No,
because
I
at
think it.
one point Mina says it's kind of a toss up whether or not the seeds will work when you put them in a machine. And I thought that's
Yeah,
a weird thing to say.
they'll either like put it like grow a tree in your way or
Will like
like
break it
break the
open.
machine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I was like, that's a weird thing to say. What else could be? What more could be about this than like just that, right?
yeah.
Um, and the conclusion that I came to is it has nothing to do with the electronics. It has nothing to do with the mechanical structure of the thing that she's putting the seeds into. It has
No, it has
100% to do with the
everything to do
ivory.
with ivory.
And so the seeds will sort of absorb the ivory from the machines, because everything in this world uses some small amount of
Um,
ivory to run.
Speaking of ivory, we should probably mention the um ivory is the like sacred uh I guess just sacred liquid that the religion is like it's like holy water.
Yeah, I guess you
Where
could
it's
say
like
it's like holy
they
water. But like,
um but
so
like even more so cuz like they're like, "Oh, the ivory can't be touched by like one concern mechanics or
yeah,
only by those that are deemed allowed to by
yeah, like if you're a
mother or
sinner, you can't touch this.
yeah, you're not allowed to touch this. This is the holy ivory oil.
Yeah, like if you are an American and you see, you go to the gas station to pray, like you might see a lot in this religion. um but because the thing is that like if you try to make a comparison to actual holy water in the real world, I'm not Catholic, but like holy water has a lot of presence in the Catholic um like consciousness, from what I understand. But you can't really compare it to this, because like
Oh,
this has like a scientific basis on being able to do things, whereas
yeah.
holy water is like, I don't want to be like, oh, your holy water doesn't do anything. Like, no, I'm not going to say that, because obviously, like, that might be true in some people's worlds, but other people obviously might see holy water as something that like saves their life daily or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Thing.
That's not the point. The point is that like this isn't just like
Yeah,
water.
it's it's something that the religion deems holy and like hallowed.
Yes. But it also has like practical uses. Like
Yeah.
it will create electricity and they use it as like fuel. They use it as rocket fuel. They use it to
Mhm.
power like they use it to like grant magical powers, like
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
So like it has all kinds of verified uses. Spoiler, I was wrong. Now that I'm thinking about it more, Ivory is an absolutely perfect name because if you think about it, Ivory is bone, right?
Yeah.
It's like tusks and teeth of
Tusks and
animals,
bone
but
and
like
teeth.
that stuff is
Yeah.
bones. And you get the ivory from the planet. And one of the major plot points toward like the middle and end of the game is that like they've
You're
extracted too
mining
much ivory from the planet,
and planet is breaking
and
apart.
the planet is breaking apart and dying. And so you could say, oh, the ivory is literally the bones of the world. And
Yeah,
by taking too much of it out, you're killing it.
basically.
Um, which I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of like anti I don't want to say like anti-capitalism, but like anti green messages in here where it's like you want to save the world because it's good and it keeps you alive
Yeah.
basically. Um and the ivory has a lot to do with that. I think you could definitely perceive that of a part of the plot of this game where it's like it has like a like I don't know what you would say uh like save the environment type message, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I loosely, I guess.
Yeah, I mean loosely, but like also kind of literally with when it comes to the ivory
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like it's
Yeah.
literally breaking apart. You know, the world is literally breaking apart.
Um,
Um
either that. I mean, what I kind of wrote down here was like, again, spoilers because this is the literally the end boss. Like you know the end boss, how he like jumps out of the star worm
yeah.
and like yells at you because the ivory is low.
Mhm.
So it's like what I saw it as is like the planet is like either one giant machine or you know just a regular planet that you're mining ivory out of.
Mhm.
Um, and that guy is the mechanic sent to fix it or maintain it. And so
Yeah.
whenever he is like comes down to fix the problems with uh, most likely lack of ivory or like to oil the machine,
Mhm.
um, he obviously he gets mad because we're taking all the ivory out of the planet and using it for whatever. So it's like, I don't know, that's what I kind of picked up, I guess, at the end. It's like I realized, I guess,
Yeah.
that that's
um
it. But this is just speculation, I guess. It's nothing
so
specific.
according to the wiki, uh the the Birdman is the name of the boss, I guess. Technically, according to the wiki, he has a name which is Lucas Burbosaurus Rex, which can't be real. Um.
I mean, he literally says that's the guy, that's the developer,
Oh, really? Okay, never mind
Cognac,
then.
I think.
Uh, really
But yeah,
funny. But
Joaquin Cognac Sandberg is the developer.
one of the things that it says in here is that the Birdman controls the eyes, and the eyes are the blue, like
Yeah,
goo, basically. Which means that he is monitoring the planet all the time. Um,
yeah, basically. And it's like, but like some of the things that the eyes do, and it's just like, why are they doing this? Is it to like stop you, I guess?
I don't know. it's a really good question. There's not a lot to know.
I don't know.
I would
The blue.
assume the way that sort of feel about it is that like we're just people who live here. He is saying, "Hey, uh, like I'm trying to power my things, but you're using up
My oil
my
to
oil
power
deposits
your
in the
thing.
world, right? And
Yeah,
like you need to stop it because if I run out and you run out, we're like I'm
we're both
screwed."
fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's also just a mechanic.
right,
He probably has to report to some kind of higher like authority.
right. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Um, yeah, as I said, it is hard to say because there's nothing like nothing specific or like concrete. I guess it's all basically speculation.
Right. And
I
the
don't
other thing is that there's a lot of underground sort of information that isn't told or is told like really
through
haphazardly.
yeah
Because
it
it's like,
through
oh,
like go ahead.
there's like okay, so the one thing that we know is that the world never it always changes. It's never the same, which is like
Hmm.
it's something that is just kind of like passed by. It's kind of glossed over at one point. But then the like actual pirate guy is like, I'm going to
Make a
stop.
map.
Yeah, I'm going to make a map of the entire world. And then they're like, haha, that's so funny because the world is always changing. You can never
World.
make a static map of it. That's a silly
Yeah,
thing to try to do. But then the world becomes like permanently stuck in one place, which means that like I think that the world itself is mechanical.
yeah.
Um and so like yeah, you might be right where like the spaceship is going to repair uh he's the mechanic to come fix a bigger machine than what we thought, which is
Yeah.
like really awkward because like does that make us the bad guys? Because like
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
destroying
Like,
basically the world. Is
mhm,
the world like a battery in a bigger or like a cog in a bigger machine in the universe, and like if we destroy it, um like it's
something
gonna
worse
gum
is going to
something
happen.
up somewhere like
Yeah, it's difficult.
it's really really difficult to say. um but these are like abstract like
'Cause, like, then it's like it's also, like, all the way down to, um, the people who are taking the ivory out of the planet don't know that taking the ivory out of the planet is probably a bad thing. I mean, they do
right.
sort of, but it's like they don't know what exactly they're doing.
Well,
Like, they don't know that it's the whole thing is a machine, that you shouldn't be taking the ivory. Um, that all they know is that if you take too much, that the world will be destroyed.
okay, but here's the thing though. I think they do know that. However, they're taking too much and for greedy reasons,
Yeah.
right? So like we have it is stated that in the settlements like settlement 17 for example, where you spend a little bit of time and grew up in basically, it's one
Mhm.
of the outer like far reaches of like civilization, I guess, of the one concerned civilization. um they get like the barest trickle of ivory in order to power their homes, right?
Yeah.
And whatever amenities they may have. And the closer you get to the middle, to the city one,
City 1.
the more ivory you find until you finally get to the leader of the religion herself, Mother, who is just literally made like she
She
bleeds ivory, literally.
Yeah,
um
yeah,
Obviously
because
same with Royal, but
they
like
have they have machines that, like, you infuse ivory into people
yeah,
with, like,
we'll get to that when we're talking about the actual story. But my like sort of impression is like they know they're just using it too greedily, right? They're
Yeah,
taking too much
they're
without replacing it. And I do
they're
think go ahead.
taking it to, like, heighten themselves, I guess.
Yeah. Cuz I do think that the problem is that they're not they're not using it correctly. They're like the way that the end of the game happens leads me to believe like after you beat the final boss and
Mhm.
like the end with like all the trees growing, what that leads me to believe is like you can responsibly use ivory and then replenish it via the seeds that the one culture has,
Yeah,
um and like responsibly have a like ecosystem without uh like abuse, you know.
yeah,
And if these people weren't abusing things, then everything would be fine for everybody. And the reason why I think that this is like actually the correct interpretation of the story is because the game is called Iconoclasts.
yeah, exactly. That's like,
You know what I mean?
duh.
Like literally it's basically saying like whenever you remove the abusive religion from the situation that is abusing the power source
The
of the planet,
land, people, the everything,
boom,
then things
everything will
go
be better
well. Yeah.
suddenly. Yeah, I think that is a correct interpretation.
Mhm.
Um, but I we're definitely like getting ahead of ourselves super far, but that's okay.
A little, yeah,
Um,
but
anyway, the so you what where do we leave off in the actual story? Because we can't go through it all
I don't know,
because
I think
it's so
at the
long.
beginning-ish.
You know, you meet Mina, you both break out, you both go back to her homeland, sort of, and then like it's you
Yeah.
find out, oh, you know, she lives in this underwater place. Oh, it's really cool. It's separate from the one
It's, like,
concern.
underwater. They're trying to, like, hide from the one concern because they're, like,
Well, I think it's
not of their religion. They're of
yeah.
the
I was gonna say I
religion
think it's like
of
expressly against their religion, basically.
yeah, they're of their own religion that is, like, based on, I guess the word would be, like, proliferation or, like, you
I think yeah, that's a good way
yeah,
of
like,
putting it. It's
you
like
wanna
regrowing things.
regrowing and nature kind of and, like, have kids, have a family, replenish the
Yeah,
people, etcetera,
take
etcetera.
care of each other.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah. But they've been
uh,
basically forced underground by the one
by the
concern.
concern, yeah.
And so, you know, you go there and it's like, oh no, but wait, we like brought the one concern with us. Ah, we have to leave. Oh wait, let's like fight him off first. And so you fight him off. That's where you end up killing Agent White. You've got to
Mhm.
like just you've got to like destroy the controlling robot that is controlling their like AI. I don't really it wasn't really explained very well. It's like the controlling mechanism. Um
Yeah, it's like a they're literally called controllers, so I
yeah. But the
they're
controller
they're a
gets
one
into
they're a
their
one concern, like, device that they, created to do exactly that,
yeah.
control
Um
other devices.
you remove the control, you get the robot to start moving the city, and then you have to like fight the one concern on the way out. You beat up a bunch of soldiers, you fight Agent White, who is an agent. If we haven't defined an agent before, basically the agents are the people who have been put into the devices, into these ascension devices, where they
Yeah,
are like bathed in liquid ivory, and if they are chosen, they become like royal, who has the ability to like
who
use
has
magic.
divine power,
Yeah.
basically.
And then if they are not chosen, they become an agent.
They either become it's like a failed, I guess? Not
Yeah.
exactly. It's like a halfway to a, like, um,
Yeah, because they enjoy
holy
like
power.
immortality, but at the
Yeah,
cost of like an arm and a leg, literally, or
Yeah,
like they're in
literally.
pain all the time, or whatever. Either way, they have like Agent White can shoot lasers from his eyes. They have certain abilities sometimes. And then in that point, you find out that this is the point in the story where Mina basically like shows you that these seeds react to ivory because she like stuffs them in Agent White's mouth or whatever it is, and he
It's like an open
explodes.
wound that you make.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, the agents are like halfway to the divine power, but like not quite. So they have the ability to heal
yeah.
still,
They have like
and
immense healing factor.
immortality, etc. But because they're not fully complete, they aren't fully divine and are just reduced to like guardians, basically.
Yeah. Um.
They're incredibly like strong and durable as well.
Right.
And then there's the third option of when you get put into one of the ascension machines is you just die.
Yeah. You just die.
You
Your
just
skin gets melted off. You end up a
it's
skeleton.
like the ivory rejects, or your body rejects the ivory, and you just die.
Yeah. So yeah, seeds into Agent White. He explodes
Mhm.
into a tree of ivory, and you go, "Oh, that's interesting." And then you
Oh,
just kind of move on.
you can kill them
Yeah. Oh, they can die. Like it's no like the gods can bleed. Like okay, cool.
pretty much.
We
It's
can
like
fight them
via
now.
via the seeds we can kill them.
Yeah. And then you like sort of progress through the sections of the game. You like travel around. You get the ability to, uh, like grapple onto things with your wrench, and then
Yeah,
travel along these like bars of light, positive and negative charge. You
yeah,
go into
like
the
rails,
the
electric rails.
shock woods is what they're called, which will be important later. Um,
I don't know. The Shockwoods themselves are a pretty good area, but tower inside it's stupid.
Yeah. So the Shockwood, and then what is there anything important that happens in the Shockwood? I don't really think there is. It's just kind of like a
Not really.
you fight a couple of bosses there. It's kind of a pass through area, I would say. Um,
Yeah,
that
you
that takes you,
fight the train boss
yeah. Um,
there.
it takes you
You,
to the tower, which is where you're going. I
you
don't
do
remember
you
why
do
you're
get a
going
little
there.
bit of like lore and
Oh,
stuff
I
from
remember.
Mina and Elro. Um, but
The
that's just
reason
like
why you're going through the Shockwoods and the Glass Strait and is because the
right.
one concern stole uh
Specifically, Agent Black
yeah, Agent Black
kidnapped
stole
Samba, which is
Samba, who
Mina's
is,
significant other.
yes. And so we're like, all right, we got to
All
go
right, well,
save
we
her
gotta
basically.
go get her back,
And so you go
obviously.
back to the tower, you like break into the tower with the help of a few people,
By
um
break in, you mean
and
get
Royal.
captured.
Yeah, well, I mean, not you don't get captured immediately.
No, you do. Like, you walk up to the tower, and Royal's like, let these people inside, and they're like, no can do, and then they arrest you.
Is that really what happens? I don't
That
think
that is
so.
what
I'm
happens.
pretty sure that's what happened. I thought that was what happened at the one concern east.
Um, no, one concern east, you take the train to.
Okay, sorry, west.
What West? No,
He like
he's like he
goes
like goes
in.
in there himself and then doesn't come back out for you, and it's like, okay, well, fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so you get captured, you go inside, and it's like this whole thing where you have to like
You have
go
to
up
like
and down
get
this
your wrench and
tower.
gun
Oh
back
my gosh, you have to get your wrench and gun back. You get an upgrade for your wrench. You have to fight the like guy with um the big metal plate in his head like four
Oh, yeah.
times, and then you end
Yeah.
up in the like
Dark cave.
yeah, basically it's like a dark cave.
Yeah, it
It's
is
not
literally
really,
dark cave. It's just like you get put underground somewhere.
yeah. And
And
then that's where you find out, like, oh no,
that's
these,
basically, yeah, where you find out what the blue things are,
yeah,
sort of. I mean, it's like, it kinda just that's how it introduces them, they're kinda just there.
yeah, they've kind of like been
They're
around.
referred to as specimens, and they're like, and then you also see the, like, metal cubes that the ground is, like, made up of,
Yeah,
and you're like, "What the heck are these?"
which I'm pretty sure that's like the spine of the world, isn't it?
It is, it's like, that's what the world is made out of,
Yeah.
and if you notice in some of the other, um, like, boss one of the other bosses, I forget, or one of the areas, I don't know, it, like, you can see like, the metal blocks change into the various, like, um, environments you've been to already.
Hmm.
I don't remember which boss
Yeah,
it was, but
I
I
don't
think I know
recall either,
you know what I'm
but I know
talking
what you're
about.
talking about. Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so the planet must be made out of these blocks that are just making it look like these different places.
Right. Um. Yeah. I think there is something
It's the
else down
I
there
think it's
that
the
you
spine
find.
controller, the big spine controller, the one that you fight with the guy's
Yes,
boat.
that was what I was going to say next. Is you find the pirate whose ship you stole at one point, which we neglected to mention, but it really wasn't that important.
No,
Um.
because you don't steal his ship, you just steal a key out of it.
Yeah. You have to fight with him uh, to get this thing blown up, which is the controller, the Omega controller, the thing that controls all of the like spines of the world changing. And so
Mhm.
you destroy that and it no longer changes and the guy's like we're gonna make like
You make a
the
map.
map for the world finally because we destroyed the thing that changes the things. So it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Even though I'm pretty sure there's several, but that's fine.
Whatever. I mean, let the man have dreams. Um, and then after you do that, Royal's like, "Hey, you're looking pretty tired. Let's go to the one concerned. I'm literally the guy who is the second most important person in the world. They'll let you in because I'll
Yeah,
say so." And then you like go there, and he goes in. He's like, "Hey, you'll follow me," and like the door never opens for you.
yeah. Well, here's we passed over something. When you're at the tower and you get, because what happens there is you're with Elro and Mina at that point,
Oh yeah, of
and
course.
Elro like goes in to confront Agent Black himself
Yeah, he kind of goes
because
rogue on you.
he's a fucking dumbass. Constantly throughout the game,
Ugh,
he's a dumbass. Um,
just dummiest.
he's 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 just dumb. He's just stupid.
For being a
He's
genius
like,
chemist, you don't have a whole lot of common
he,
fucking sense.
yeah, right. He's just like, oh, this like immortal uh, agent that can't be killed. I'm just gonna go fight him as a
A
like
guy with a broken sword. Haha.
damn broken sword. Gets his arm torn off
Yeah.
for because he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
And then like the silver swordsman guy saves you
And Samba.
and
After you
Samba and
grab
Mina.
Samba. And so you
Yeah.
rescue Samba
So
and
it's like you
then
rescue Samba, but now Elro's captured
right. So you're like, I
because
gotta go
General
solve
Chrome
him.
is like, uh, he's there, I guess.
Well, General Chrome
Back.
comes in and saves Elro from being like
Basically,
literally clubbed to death.
yeah, he stops Black from killing Elro.
Yeah. Um and then so your
And that's
goal
why you go to a one concern west,
right.
is trying to
Right.
get Elro
Of
back.
course, I can't forget about that. You open the tower as well and let all the pupils out
Yeah,
that were being brainwashed.
basically being
That you
brainwashed.
find out are being brainwashed as you're climbing the tower, and then like Samba's like, I'm gonna leave the door open and leave. Like, if they want to leave, they can leave, but I'm not forcing nothing. I'm just gonna give them the option. And
Like,
Mina's like,
I wanna go home.
I guess.
Samba's like, you can come home, and Mina's like, but should I?
But
Should
I
I not?
gotta help. But she helped me help you. Like I feel like I'm obligated to help Robin get her loved one back. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Mm,
Which ends up
Like,
being like the saving grace because she dresses for the weather because the
Yeah,
path up to One Concern West
it's
is a
goofy.
mountain with snow, and so like you
And that's
meet
the reason
her.
you have to find Ash, is because he basically tells you that the camera is broken and that it recognizes through a database something that, like, if it's an unknown object, it'll open the door.
Yeah. And so like you go and you fight that fucking asshole. And then he tells you that, and then you go with this giant fucking round puffy coat that Mina's wearing.
He
And
just
that
walks up
lets you
to the
in,
door.
which is like really, really funny, but also really stupid.
It is really funny, but
Like
also,
insanely
like,
contrived. Like at no other point in this game is there like any contrivance except for right now,
yeah,
right? Where it's just like, oh, we happen to have the ability to just like bypass their security, tee hee hee, and then you get in, and like that's just like, who cares from there on?
yeah.
Like you're already in, it doesn't
I
matter.
don't know. It's a very goofy, like, interaction.
Yeah, I mean,
The
it was definitely played for laughs. So like they kind of they had enough purchasing power with me to buy that like contrivance, I guess. But it doesn't make it any less contrived, in my opinion. Um, and so you go through the One Concern West, and Elro's not there, and you go to the One Concern East, and I think is he in the One Concern East, or is he in City One? Because I think
No,
you.
he was in One Concern East, because you go to the East briefly, and, like, he's there
Oh yeah,
getting treated because he just got his arm torn off.
yes, that is
And you
correct.
get him out of there, and then you go to City 1, because Royal's like, "Yeah, Mother will heal him."
Yeah, of course. He only has
And
one arm. She has the ability to say to give him his
but
arm
then
back or
it
something.
then it's like, he, like, when you meet Mother, he's like, "Oh, absolve this man of his sins," and Mina's like, "Excuse me? That's all you meant? You weren't gonna, like, heal his arm or
Yeah,
anything?"
you don't have the
Oh,
ability. That's
that's it.
crazy. Nobody can do that. We're gonna give him his life back and allow him to practice chemistry again. He's gonna be absolved from his sin, which is like literally. I think that whole interaction is so. It's so gold
Yeah,
because it describes the delusional religious person's idea of, I'm going to save the world by bringing people into my church, right?
yeah,
And I don't I
and
don't mean offense by this, but like if you know the person, you know the person, right? Like come to church with me and God will save your soul. God will heal you of all the problems that you have. You will never have any problems with money anymore. Your physical illnesses will disappear. We'll lay hands on you and it'll be great. And it's like, if you believe all these things, by all means enjoy yourself, but like forcing other people to do it is another question.
yeah.
Um,
And that's the thing about Royal throughout the entire game, is, like, he believes it the whole way.
well, and he has no reason to not believe it, right? Because he's literally chosen by like the machine, right?
Yeah,
Like he literally has magical powers, the ability to manipulate the planet because of like
Ivory.
this religion,
Yeah,
basically. So like there's no reason for him to not believe, basically.
yeah, pretty
Um,
much.
so I don't really blame him. He's a wholesome boy.
He is, but he's a little naive,
He's
I guess.
yeah, he's definitely like zealous. Um, so you
Yeah,
get to Mother after like going through the city, which the city in and of itself is just like a whole comment on capitalism just
yeah.
by itself.
Yep,
Like
that's all you gotta say. It's just
just
that.
it's definitely like they throw in this like an absolutely like perfect criticism of like consumerism as a religion, basically, and like.
'Cause, like, it's like the people in City 1 don't really know what's happening outside the city.
Right. And like there are a few people, I don't know if you talk to all of them, but there are a few people who are like, should I buy the latest like bro
Phone?
phone? Well, but my previous bro phone works perfectly fine. Uh
Yeah.
but like I really want to
I
get
wanna
the new
buy this
one
I wanna
for
buy
all
this one
these
because it has
things.
has the new features I want. It's like,
Yeah, I gotta
shut
have
up.
the new features. What if everybody else has them and I don't? And it's like you can't get more succinct of a criticism on like over consumerism than that.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just glorious. Um, and like there are some comments in during that like walk when you're talking to the NPCs about like um people who are so shut in and consumed by like basically the media that they consume that
Mhm.
they like stop talking to their family, they stop talking to their friends, and just become a shut in. And
Oh,
they,
yeah, yeah, I
that
do.
sort of
I
thing. And
remember
it's
that one.
like, wow, like that's you did it. You're doing it. This is all like pretty appropriate for a game called Iconoclasts.
Mhm.
um but anyway, you go through the city, you go up to Mother laughs at you, calls Royal a dummy pants, and Royal sort of like starry eyes shatter in the moment because
Yeah, he's like,
literally like the god
because
or
he always thought that Mother, like, loved him as a son, and she's like, "No, I don't.
no, you're worthless to me. You're actually a sinner. You're worse than
You're
a sinner.
actually worse than a sinner
Yeah.
because" yeah, and he's like, "What?"
Yeah, and so you fight her, he helps you fight her, you take her out, and then um everything goes to shit.
Everything goes to shit.
Um you have
I
to
mean,
climb up
everything goes more to shit,
more to shit.
we
Well,
should say.
cuz like it's also revealed like between One Concern East and City 1 that like the world is literally dying
The
and
world is dying and Mother was planning on leaving.
Mother was
It
planning on
literally
leaving, but she was
they do
planning
say
on
that.
like officially blaming it on Royal.
Yeah, officially
Um
blaming it on I mean, they do several times
yeah,
officially blame it on Royal, even though
basically.
I'm pretty sure he didn't do very
He
much to.
didn't. They need a scapegoat.
Yeah, pretty much, because like, he didn't do anything to, like, affect. Maybe there was a few, like, balls that needed pushed into motion, but, like, it wasn't him, it
Well,
was you,
it's not.
Robin,
No.
because
I disagree. Like, no. The
no,
reason why they're blaming it on Royal is because like he's the next in the line, so it's easier to blame the next person coming than it is to blame yourself, right?
yeah, yeah,
That can be like seen in like any generational like
yeah,
problem of the
yeah,
world, right? You push it off into the people who don't know any better and you say, I'm above blame. My generation did nothing wrong, right?
it's not
And
my fault.
so that's what Mother's doing. That's what Mother's displaying in this particular situation, right? Because she's in charge. So she's going to say, I'm not the problem here. It's the next generation that has an issue.
Yeah,
Um,
it's Royal's fault. He's the one who's responsible for the planet, this happening to the planet.
right.
So
When
I'm
in
going to
reality, it
leave.
was her and the elder gentleman that you walk by in the bastion at the very end who has silver
Yeah,
hair in a
who
wheelchair.
I'm pretty sure is referred to as father.
Yes, which I believe is the predecessor to Mother.
Yeah,
Um and I believe it is those two their like policies on like gathering ivory and like basically world domination with said ivory that um you know causing this problem. So,
yeah. So yeah, Mother was planning on leaving with the rocket,
yes,
going
there's a
to
rocket.
smaller moon, and then taking just a few people with, and then the planet would like
Yeah,
fall apart.
they would start over there or they would start over someplace else. I don't know what their plan actually was cuz like
I don't know. They
it's literally a moon, dude. You
they
can't
all
grow
they
nothing there.
literally did was just plan on leaving the planet while it broke apart.
Yeah.
Um,
Which I guess you could say is like an allegory for like the richest in the world or the most powerful in the world being like, "Oh, we're going to save
just leaving
ourselves."
whenever, yeah, to save themselves, leaving whenever stuff goes wrong.
Yeah, which totally happens. I believe it. I believe that like, if nuclear bombs went off, that all of the richest in the world would be able to like put themselves into like
Bomb shelters,
bomb
etc.
shelters that would save them. American Horror Story did this in like I think it's Apocalypse, and like I think that would happen. um,
Probably.
Anyway, so you go up there, you see that you confront Chrome. Chrome's like, I'm gonna save the world, and then he doesn't, because
He's like, no, because he's like, I'm gonna save the world. When he comes, I'm gonna offer him up the soul of my soul and like your soul, basically. And it's like, come, you must give up your soul to like
him.
appease him. And it's just like
The him they're
oh?
talking about is like this giant
Star Worm.
like, if what it looks like is like literally like Cthulhu-esque, like flies through space, like creature.
Star
right?
Worm.
Yeah, Star
is-
Worm.
They refer to it as.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
you're
and
like,
they're just
nah,
like,
I'm not gonna
no?
do that. No.
And then
we're not
Elro
gonna do
shows
that.
up and kills Chrome with his chemical.
Yeah, because he developed, as he is a genius chemist.
He developed a way to kill agents.
Yeah, which is like
Via somehow some kind of chemical that like reacts to people with ivory blood.
right. And so after that, you're like, oh, we gotta go, and like Royal's like, we actually have to go talk to him, because I believe that I can talk to him, and he can save us, because I am the chosen one. And you're like, okay, let's go do that.
Unfortunately, Royal still doesn't see the the reality.
He's fully delusional, but like at this point in the time in the game, like we are fully convinced, like as Robin, Mina, Elro, the person like playing all these characters, fully convinced that the world's ending. Like, what else are we gonna do? This is a better plan than nothing.
You gotta go. You gotta go do something.
Yeah,
and just sit and die.
So you go through the
either try and die or just wait,
until like the end of the world hits. So then okay, so like it's pretty fast from here. There's like a boss rush of like, you have to go through this area, do a couple of puzzles, fight a boss, and then you switch to the next character, do the same thing, fight a boss, and then you switch to Elro, and you like walk a couple of feet, fight a boss, and then like
because like you're trying to board the rocket, and you have to do like several things. Two people need to launch the rocket while you and Royal are in the rocket.
Yeah, it's like Elro and Mina have to go two separate routes to two opposite stations in order to hit this button simultaneously that launches the rocket. And then Robin and Royal make their way through the like path to the rocket.
To get to the like boarding.
Right. At which point you fight Black for the second time. We didn't really talk about
we haven't really talked much about Black.
We haven't really talked much about Black, but Black is like, I don't really know what to make of Black.
Well, cuz see, she
Black is okay, so like before we go any further, the original agent that you talk to at the beginning of the game that busts into your house and is like, "Hey, is there any illegal shenanigans going on?" That's Black.
Yeah, Agent Black and Agent White.
Yeah.
Kill Agent White in the Mina's hometown place.
Right.
And obviously Agent Black gets upset at that. That's why she takes Samba.
Right.
But what had happened before, like even before the game starts, is there was Agent Gray.
Yeah.
Whom because Black's a like she's a hard person, I guess. She's not, doesn't smile, doesn't.
She's definitely a
very,
product of pain.
Yeah, she's a very closed off person. Ever since she became an agent, she's had like constant headache, etc., etc. She's a closed off person. But Agent Gray was like, I guess, an agent that was very, very kind and nice and.
Well, I think the way that it was portrayed in like the one scene is like, it wasn't that Agent Gray was just nice. It was that like Agent Gray was like strong enough to keep up with Black, or like even eclipse Black's like strength, but then also was like, hey, maybe don't be such a Debbie Downer all the time. You know, chill out, hang out with us, be people with us.
Black had grown to like Gray, and she's not one to like anybody.
Yeah.
And then the one scene that we're talking about, it's the same scene where we find out that Elro is this genius chemist who had created this chemical that can kill agents or anybody with ivory blood.
Right.
So what he does is he tests it in the moment because he's like, "Oh, we gotta take down the one concern," and then his like partner is like, "No, this is not what we do. This is not what we're here for."
Right.
He's like, "But we gotta do something,"
well,
and then he
it's worth it to note that the friend who represents an entirely different faction, they're looking for a way to make alternate power sources.
Yeah, alternate forms of power that
the
isn't
Chemico Contra, I believe.
Yeah.
They're looking for alternate power sources through like chemical energy or the electricity.
Or literally electricity in Shockwood. It's called Shockwood for a reason.
Right, exactly.
But yeah,
because ivory is so prolific in the world and everything runs on it, that nobody is willing to look at any other kind of power generation.
Because it's such an efficient power that like all these other options just aren't good enough.
Well, I mean that mirrors real life, right?
Yeah.
You know, like compare stuff like gasoline or coal to like water
battery.
Energy or solar, you know?
Solar or even wind.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, the scene, so he tests his chemical on Gray, and this is why, and then she dies, Gray dies.
Well, she doesn't just die, she like literally like burns from the inside out.
Burns and melts and in
like
and
vicious
like explodes pain. on Black, in front of Black.
Yeah. And
so
Elro.
This is why Black hates Elro.
Yeah. Which is why once she got her hands on him, she tore his arm off and tried to beat him to death.
Beat him to death with her own two hands.
Yeah.
So yeah, that explains Black. And so like Black has had many problems, and you know, she's just hates everyone.
Yeah. The way that I feel about Black is like she's a really good character because like she doesn't really buy the religious bullshit, right?
Yeah.
She's like, listen, I was asked to do this, to like get into the machine by somebody I loved. That person's no longer here. I take orders. I am not really a person anymore. I am just somebody who takes orders, okay? And so
she doesn't care who gives them, basically.
Yeah. And so I'm just going to do this because I can't die. I can't kill myself. I can't like be killed. It's, you know, it like you
pain.
Yeah. Well, but while in constant pain, like not only can she not die or like basically be mortally wounded, she is in pain. So it's like it's this strange like don't need to heal but can never be fully healed type situation. Eternal torment, etc. Very very close to like a vampire, I would say, where like they're always hungry for blood, but like they're never going to die, but they're always hungry. Yeah, it's very similar to that, I would say. And so like she's been like ground down so much by time and all of the bullshit that she's seen, like going through the one concern and being the one concern's puppet, that like
she's just fed up.
Yeah, she's just like, she doesn't care. She's gonna do whatever she wants. She's gonna like once the people giving orders died, she's gonna do whatever she wants. I thought that the ending of her, because like you meet her at the rocket, I thought that her like sort of reaction to this whole thing was it seems kind of irrational, because it's like why are you fighting us? You can just like go away and
just leave.
But like I guess the reason why she's doing it is like she's saying like, no, it's my rocket, it's my rocket, it's my rocket, is like she sees you as the reason why all of this is happening, when like you're the one trying to like save everything. but like
Yeah,
it doesn't matter to her.
it
And
doesn't
like
matter to her.
that's why it's so
She's
fascinating.
she's basically seen you the whole time and been unable to kill you several times,
Yeah.
and like you're the one who's been just like thwarting her at every move,
Yeah.
and she just hates you and Elro.
Yeah. Well, and it's just that like I think that it's just she's so blinded by the pain and the rage that like it doesn't matter what is going on. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Basically. And I
pretty
think that
much.
that's like it's like a really unique motivation for a villain, especially in a
Mhm.
game like this. You know what I mean? Um yeah, but so what ends up happening is she like basically like dies but then like drinks a bunch of ivory and then falls into like a pool of
She doesn't
ivory.
drink it. Like, how you try to kill her is how you tried to kill Agent White. You stuff her full of seeds.
Well, but no,
Um,
because like remember how she like punches a hole in the rocket's like fuel reservoir and there's ivory coming
yeah,
out?
but I don't
Whenever
think
her
she
health
drinks
goes
it.
back up, she's like over there drinking ivory.
Oh, yeah, I guess she does. She does, like, because, like, at one point she, like, can't heal from the ground anymore. She goes over to the
Yeah.
pure ivory flowing from the rocket and, like, sucks it out of that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's
And she
yeah.
she like falls
But after
into the
you
ivory and then also the blue eye like stuff. They both combine with her and her like rage, I guess, and becomes like a whole nother beast they call the
yeah,
ivory beast. It's this like demon
it
thing.
literally just, like, a being made out of ivory and the blue shit.
Yeah. And
Um,
so you fight
and
that,
just pure
you kill
rage.
it, and then once you do that, you get into the rocket. Um and then you do obviously like you do the other two characters and
Yeah.
the other two characters are like interesting. Obviously, like Mina's trip is pretty short. You fight Mendeleev, who is like the most
It
interesting looking character of all time, who has absolutely no screen time, which is just it's so
No,
annoying.
because they're what they were, those 3 characters are, where they're, like, freshly made, like, agents, I guess, or, like, recruits or something,
Yeah,
freshly
I don't know.
ascended, and they're, like, they don't have full control over their whatever,
Well, and she's got
something,
like
I don't
fire
know.
powers, and so you like throw her into the
They
electricity, and she
can't
gets
heal
electrocuted.
fully, they can't they take damage, so they're, like, a little bit lower than agents.
Yeah,
Yeah, a reborn transcendent, I guess,
yeah.
is what they're called. Reborn. So they're just fresh, and then they're like, "Oh, shit, go stop these people from doing this and
Right.
from getting the rocket." And they're like, "Okay, whatever."
Let me see here. Do you
Yeah,
fight?
and
Do you fight Noble? I don't
yeah, you
remember.
do as Robin in the like Chemco like gas chamber.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like
Okay. I
chemical
remember that.
chamber, you
That
fight
fight was
him.
annoying.
Yeah,
In
it
this
was.
wiki, I didn't even think about it until now. They say that Noble is related to Ash, Ash's daughter,
Oh, I
not
guess
Black. And the
that
reason why that makes sense is because she can
that
also
makes
go
sense.
invisible.
He also goes invisible and teleports
Yeah.
around.
Yep.
Yep.
And so
Alright, there's the answer
maybe
from earlier.
Ash's like whole bullshit is to try to prepare you to fight her. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter to me. I don't
I don't
care.
think so.
And then
Considering that
Elro's
fight,
trip.
you don't even use stealth or anything, you just shoot
Yeah, Elro's
again.
trip is you have to fight Lawrence, who's like just this big bulky guy. Um,
Who, like,
he's
is
just
always
like
spouting off some stuff about, like, honor or some shit, I don't
yeah,
know.
and so like he just like
You
goes
just
and
go up
like
and stab
punches
him.
him, and it's basically a game of like rock paper scissors. I thought
Yeah.
that fight was so funny. I just like honestly
Like,
so funny
the
because
amount of
you're
uncaring on Elro's face,
yeah. Well, and the
you
other
just,
thing
like,
is like
slowly
he's
walk up
got
to this
one
guy
arm.
and you stab him.
He's got one arm. He's got fucking like his legs are busted. He can
His
barely walk or jump, and you've got to fight this
His
guy.
He's
And
so
he does
tired.
it.
He has a broken sword and one arm. Currently, like, is in so much pain and grief from losing his dad recently, losing his wife and child recently. Robin's off doing whatever the hell Robin does, which is literally getting into danger at any time she can.
Yeah.
So he's also fed up with everything. So all he does for that fight is he just like walks up to the guy and just stabs him repeatedly.
Yeah, basically.
That's the whole fight.
um
He like grudges, I guess.
Yeah. And so they like get to the place, and once Mina and Elro are both there, Elro's like, I'm not pushing the button. I can't make my sister go off and do any more dangerous thing, which is like the repeat of the thing that he said throughout the entire game. Every single turn, whenever he pops up and he's like, I have to save my sister, even though she's definitely shown herself to be extremely capable and she has her own agency. She's an adult and she can do things by herself. No, I gotta save her. Yeah. It's like, oh my god, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Constantly through the game, he's like he's so like stricken with grief and deluded that he has to like be there to protect his sister.
At every turn.
He's the older brother.
Like, just, so, like, literally insane.
Can you just lay off, my dude?
Yeah, like, dude, just chill.
Like,
stop.
I know what you're going through is, like, it sucks. But, like, can you just stop? Just lay off.
Like, I understand the character. He's supposed to be there to push back against things. And, that's the point. We're playing a game called Iconoclasts. I get it. However,
he's also...
we're at the precipice. We're standing at the cliff. We have to jump. Death is behind us, right? If we don't jump, we die. But we don't know if... He's like, but if we jump, we also die. And you say, I don't know that. Maybe we don't, though. And so, you go, oh, okay, so we gotta go. We gotta jump right now. Let's go. And he goes, no. And you're like... Oh, but this is our only chance, and he's still it's so frustrating because he still refuses to do the right thing because he is also blind because he thinks that he has to do everything for his sister, even though he's successfully done nothing for her, basically. So yeah. He doesn't press the button, even though Mina shoots him. We find out later after the button is successfully pushed and the rocket is launched that it was actually Elro's partner who did it, followed behind at a sneaky distance and said, trust but verify. Basically. And ended up pushing the button in the end.
Yep.
And so you launch the rocket, you go to the moon. The moon is a very interesting place. You find out that, there
was a base set up here for
Mother,
the expecting
basically.
of Mother to hide, basically, with a bunch of other people, including, there was a room ready for Agent Black too. So she was
Agent
planning
Black
on being up there.
Well, and Royal, basically
and
every
Royal.
person that is the tippy top. There was really only a dozen rooms or so, right?
Yeah. And there was one collective room for all the brainwashed
pupils.
People from the tower, the pupils.
Yeah. Also, it's notable that there was no. I don't think there was a father room.
No, I'm sure Mother was planning on leaving him because he was old and decrepit anyway.
Yeah. So
he was in a wheelchair on IV support.
8 doors, each labeled with the name of a person, indicating specific people that were also chosen to escape to Midway. Midway is the
moon base.
Moon base. Emmett Darland, Aisling Ferrier, Bia Blockrock, Oliver Shard, Joseph Glass, Mother, Progeny Royal, Madeline Binoche. And I believe Madeline Binoche
is Agent Black.
Agent Black.
But yeah. Also, if you noticed, quick thing, all those people's names also correspond to the area names.
Yeah. Of course.
But yeah, those were all the top people, all the paperwork people, I guess.
I'd say a few, the majority of them were paper pushers. They were the bureaucrats at the top.
Yeah.
Yes, they all were except
All the
for
people who
Royal
were like right under
and
Mother.
Mother and Agent Black. Yeah, I did notice that because I was like, I've seen these names before. I just saw them, and then the place that you just seen them recently was at the Bastion, where you confront
Literally,
Chrome
like you go into the
and
other room
yeah,
and you talk to
yeah.
them all.
Basically, they're all like gathering
They're like
papers and running
freaking
away
out.
and crying. Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, so you run through this place, kind of marveling at all the areas, reading the little plaques everywhere, and Royal's making comments about how like, oh, we would have escaped to here, it would have been nice, and it would have been blah 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 blah. I'm so sad that that didn't come to pass, but we have a job to do. And so you run off to the right, and eventually you use some magic to get the attention of him
Him.
in a capital
Starworm.
HIM, who is the Star Worm. Eventually, you do get the attention. He kind of goes, "What do you want?" And Royal's like, "You got to save us. We're worth saving. Please give us another
Don't
chance."
destroy the Earth. Don't
Yeah.
destroy the world. It's not Earth.
And then
Um,
the Star Worm goes, "Fuck off," and he leaves.
but before he leaves, he like psychic blasts Royal.
Oh yeah, I guess
and
that's
then
right.
smashes the window.
Well, no, okay, that only happens after he's like leaving,
Yeah, I
and
guess
then
that's true.
Royal
He
is
does like try to leave, and Royal just like is like, "What the fuck are you doing? I'm
Yeah.
talking to you."
I am the chosen one. You have to give me your attention. And he magics him.
Blasts a hole in his
Eye.
head,
I
eye or
believe.
head or whatever.
And then the worm goes, "What the fuck did you do?" And like shoots him with a laser and breaks a
Psychic
hole.
blast.
Yeah, in the
Smashes.
glass, which is like, oh no, there's space out there, like sucking all the oxygen out, and so you got to be like, oh shit, we got to go. The oxygen's gonna disappear in like 3 minutes, and so you like pick up Royal and take him with you.
Oh yeah, something to mention. There's these arbitrary doors that only open for people with ivory blood.
Yeah, and so that's gonna be like literally. Well, I assume it's probably.
I mean, it's not arbitrary because like the only people going to Midway were people with ivory blood, so
right. Yeah,
it makes
exactly.
sense.
And so yeah, you have to carry him through. He opens the door for you in spite of being like passed out. And then you get to a point where the little sensor thing is broken. And so you have to literally drop him on the ground next to the sensor so the door opens and you can leave through one of the escape pods that you see at the beginning. That we didn't mention because it doesn't mention. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you just leave him there. To our knowledge, there's no like there's no way around this.
No, there's nothing. I already tried today, actually.
Yeah, there's well,
like,
I'm just saying like
I even ran out the time.
Yeah,
there's no way to take him with you.
It's very unfortunate because like Royal's a good character. I don't think that he did anything wrong. I think that
he was
his
just
only thing
incredibly
was
deluded.
Yeah,
but he just
it's really unfortunate. So yeah, he
so you just leave him there.
I mean, on the moon.
At least like when you get back to the planet, Robin does have some kind of like remorse or sadness, obviously.
Yeah.
When you land.
Well, yeah, because she's. I mean, I think she's been like, unless you like choose other dialogue options, she's been like the one person who's actually liked Royal, who's been like given him a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you land on the planet from the, what is it? Safety or like what is it called? The capsules, the safety capsules, emergency launch, whatever, sends you back to Block Rock. You land there, and then like Elro does the whole song and dance of like, you've done enough, you don't have to do any more, even though like literally you followed the space or the Star Worm literally to the planet. And so you're like, I've got to go figure it out. And so you do. You go down by yourself. No brother, no Mina, nobody, no Royal, no nobody.
To the crash site.
To the crash site. And and then that starts like the sort of final descent. There's no
Yeah.
going back from here, basically. And once you go through there, you end up fighting a bunch of enemies that have been taken over by the blue eyes. Enemies that you fought before, but like they are double in difficulty, basically. I suppose looking at it now, the fact that the Birdman can does control the blue eyes, it makes sense thematically
Yeah.
that he
It's
has
like he's trying
grabbed
to
all these
stop you.
creatures.
Yeah, he's just trying to like stop you from getting to him.
Yeah. You get to the Starworm itself. You get to him, and like you fight him, right?
Yeah.
Like that's as best as I can say. Like that's the final boss. You get sent into like this mental. I guess
Yeah,
it's like a mental like place where you have to fight.
You don't really fight. You have to like
They're like
put up.
hallucinations that are representing
Yeah, it's like a
your
psychic
allies.
attack where it's like um he's trying to stop you with your by like trapping you in your own mind or something.
Yeah. But you're basically
And you
tasked with doing certain small things like wrenching or spinning a wrench or something like
yeah,
that in order to raise these flowers up. And they're sunflowers, which is what
basically
Elro.
your own.
Yeah, that's what
Go
you've
ahead.
been called.
Yeah, basically a
In
mechanic's own way of like dealing with whatever is in your head.
Yeah. And so I thought that was cute because you're raising your own little sunflowers in your these mental attacks to fortify yourself, basically.
Yeah,
And then you fight the guy, and then you destroy it, and then out pops the Birdman. You fight the Birdman, you kill the Birdman, and like
really,
that's
I'm
the
pretty
end of
sure
the
he
game.
accidentally kills himself, but that's fine.
Well, yeah, but whatever.
Yeah, and then you put the a seed in the starworm, like I guess it's considered a ship or whatever
Yeah,
it is, and then you create a ton of like real actual trees.
well, because like I think the idea that it's taking is like imagine the explosion of the tree that was Mother, right? That
Yeah.
huge tree, because that's how you defeat her. You put the seeds into her, and she blows up. Pretty brutal way to die. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But
Same thing that
like
happens
it
to
makes
white.
this huge ivory looking tree, goopy and like tendrils everywhere. It looks gross. Whereas the Starworm is like a planet-sized ivory
It's like
being.
a planet-sized being made out of ivory.
And so the good end is, I don't think there's a bad end, but the good ending, the ending that is good, is we are renewing the world by like using the seeds and the ivory together to create abundant life.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think it's a nice little bow to tie.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's like the end of the game.
Yeah, it is.
Um
One quick thing I want to mention though, we didn't really mention the like ships that you get the seeds from whenever you're in Mina's home.
yeah.
The ancestor ships.
Yeah, the
Those
ancestor ships.
I'm pretty sure are like arcs of some sort that brought you to this planet in the first place.
Yeah. Let me see if
Pretty
there's
sure there's a page on the wiki that says this.
ancestral vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one
it's like-
concern calls them arcs are the means by which humanity arrived on the planet.
So yeah, this is. I mean, it's not Earth. So this is
Right,
this
right,
is
of
how
course.
the people got to the planet in the first place, the original, very first place. And then all of this stuff is the seeds were from the arcs. For whatever reason, I guess the arc that's in One Concern, didn't have any seeds, or something. I
Right.
don't know, but
I would assume that
something like that, and
basically the way that these are supposed to work are like they're supposed to give you the idea, and obviously it's confirmed on the wiki that these are the way that humanity made it here, which means that at the end, whenever it was supposed to be like just Mother and all these other like people, that they were just gonna go restart humanity.
yeah, pretty
Like
much.
they were gonna go to the moon, create another arc, and then go somewhere else. Right? That
Yeah.
was their plan. And so yeah, like it's I don't really like it was a pretty important point to Mina and how that's like it's her ancestry, but like I don't really know how much it makes a difference to like the story of
No, I just wanted to mention it
Iconoclasts by itself. You know what I mean?
because like I just wanted to mention it because like that's where the seeds came from, and that's how the people got onto this planet in the first place to start ruining the planet. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, which is probably why Birdman's so upsetty spaghetti.
Exactly. And like the seeds, and because like I don't even think the original like ancestors knew that the seeds were gonna have this effect
On the
with
ivory, yeah.
with the ivory, because like from what I would assume is um they came from Earth, which they're just Earth seeds.
Yeah,
We don't have
I get that.
ivory like this. We don't have this kind of ivory on Earth, so like these are just regular seeds. These are just trees.
Well, yeah, and like
You would have known that they would react this wildly with ivory.
yeah. And I guess there is like to that point, Royal, when you first meet him, he is like making flowers out of the earth, right?
Yeah,
And
but
then, but the
they're
problem
not like
is, they're all like symmetrical. They're all square
they're like
or
square
whatever.
flowers. And if you notice throughout the rest of the game, all the other foliage, except in where the ancestor ship is in the Isilagar, where Mina lives, is they're all like square or cube.
Yeah, the vast majority of them are. And then, but the thing is once Royal goes to Isilgar or whatever it's called, he mentions that he can't control her. Like he can't use his power to control the flowers that she made with her seeds.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would lend more credibility to that. So, all
Which
right,
is
I
weird
think
because it's like I would assume the seeds grow out of the ivory,
well, I mean, not
where
necessarily. I
it's like
think just most
some kind of
things.
like accelerated growth.
I think most
And if
things
he
are
has,
in this planet have like some kind of ivory
yeah,
traces, and so it
and
allows the seeds to grow.
and if Royal has like the ability to manipulate most, like basically ivory, he has the ability to manipulate ivory, which means he has the ability to manipulate most things using ivory. Um, the seeds, if they grow out of the ivory, I don't know.
Wouldn't they contain ivory?
Wouldn't they
But the thing
contain
is like
ivory?
think about plants, right? We breathe oxygen;
I
they
guess
breathe
yeah,
carbon monoxide,
yeah.
right? Or carbon dioxide. I don't know. Whatever
Carbon,
it is, whatever we breathe out, they breathe in, and then
yeah,
they breathe out oxygen, and it's a nice little cycle. So
yeah.
think about it like that.
So like I don't know, the ivory just makes them grow
They're
exponentially
they're
very
a
quickly.
purifier. They purify things. So I think
So
that is about wrapping it up. I don't
yeah,
have
I
anything
think
else to
that's.
say. This
I
has
don't
been
think
a
I do
long
either.
one.
It is a very long episode. Yeah.
We're coming up on 2 hours right
Oof.
now. This is like
Um,
Undertale levels of talking.
that's. I mean, it is
um,
a long enough game for that, I
yeah,
suppose.
there was a lot to talk about here. So, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
I think that's
I would
it. What do you rate
definitely.
it?
Yeah, I would definitely give this. I would give this a 8 out of 10 myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Um, Iconoclasts, it's called. It's
9 out of 10.
1999 on Steam or probably Epic Games if you like Epic Games. But if you like Epic Games, what are you doing here? Anyway,
Yeah.
probably everything because most of our games are from Epic Games.
Don't look at that.
So
Actually,
$20,
look at
you'll get
all of our
absolutely the
episodes.
bang for your buck for this game. I would
It is a
recommend it.
great game.
If you like,
As we said, the gameplay's great. The music's pretty good.
took us around what?
The story is definitely one to get like. It makes your head spin.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
like definitely one that makes you think.
Yeah, like if you can, like, I haven't even looked it up, but if you go on YouTube and you type Iconoclasts story explained, and there's like a 4-hour explanation video or something, like by all means go watch that.
Yeah, or something. Because like if you
actually,
don't
there
understand,
isn't.
which
Holy
you probably
crap!
won't
What?
understand
There's
the story first time you play, but like give it your best. It's definitely one that makes you think because
Yeah,
it's
it's
not.
good.
It doesn't. It's not like nothing is said.
There's a lot of implication. There's a lot of allegory. There's a lot of comparisons, for sure.
Inferring.
Yeah,
A lot of
inferences too. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. But yeah, it's a great game.
Would
9 out of
recommend.
10 would play. Would recommend.
Yep. Next game is called Grimm's Hollow.
Yeah, Grimm's Hollow.
It's a cute little free game on Steam, so you don't have to worry about prices next week. It was recommended because we have played.
It looks Undertale like.
Yeah, it was recommended because you've played Undertale. Basically, I got that recommendation. Things on the more like this are Omori and Undertale.
Mm-hmm.
So that is relevant.
It is Omori like as well.
So, all right, cool.
Yep.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us for this long episode.
Thank you so much.
This was definitely a much more interesting talk than I was expecting going in, considering the beginning is, it's kind of like, whatever, this game's kind of like, the music's okay, the graphics is like better than par, but then like the story in the game.
The story.
So
it does, yeah. All right, well,
carries.
thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.